The days are long for a fisherman. They are early risers. Fishermen leave for work much earlier than the rest of the world. They are awake when everybody else is asleep. Sometimes they spend days on end at sea. They ward off sleep with betel leaves and nuts. Life in the village of Thuthoor starts early in the morning. Joseph and his son are alone now. They are a little late today. The rest of the Katamaram fishermen have already left. The Katamaram is an object of romantic charm for many. For others, it is a symbol of a pristine age, an age that was in communion with nature. For the fisherman, it is his life, nothing romantic or pristine. To him, it represents life in its harshest and most concrete form. From ancient times, fishermen and Katamarams were praised for their skill and bravery. Life has not changed much in this village. Many of them are still dependent on Katamarams. The shores of the southern tip of India are known for their steep beaches and unpredictable wind conditions. Boats and other big fishing crafts can easily be damaged and wrecked in rough weather. But Katamarams can withstand any weather. Thuthoor is the village of the famed shark catchers of India. The fishermen of this village are said to be the most skilled and innovative in our country. Unlike the motorized fishing craft, the Katamaram ensures an egalitarian ownership of the means of production. It does not need huge capital investments. Since fishermen are in control of the means of production, they are able to maintain their dignity. Their fishing techniques are ecologically sustainable. Selective fishing makes it possible for fish to breed and grow. But intensive motorized fishing and trawler nets have considerably dwindled their catch. The trawlers catch immature fish stocks in the breeding season. This decreases the chances of fish stock growing and reproducing. Trawler nets wipe out the habitats. Katamarams mainly go for rock fishes. They are slow growing and live long. They are a rare species, some of which are fast disappearing. Trawlers drag large nets across the seabed. They destroy the eggs and the reef habitats. They catch small fish that are not used. The level of damage to the biomass is dismal. Thuthoor consists of 8 hamlets. One of these hamlets is in the state of Kerala. The rest are in Tamil Nadu. Although fishermen from these hamlets are pioneers in adopting modern technology, they have not abandoned the traditional wisdom. The village is a treasure trove of traditional fishing technologies. They have many combinations of different types of craft and gear. In rough weather and lean months, they depend on the shore scene. Shore scenes are long nets which are spread over a large area. It is one of the largest nets used in traditional fishing. Both ends of the net are attached to floats. A group sets sail in a boat along with the net. They drop the 500 feet rope attached to the floats. While returning, the rope attached to the other end of the net is dropped. The net is then dragged ashore by 20 to 70 people holding both ends of the rope. The net is shaped like an hourglass. When pulled, the middle part of the net contracts. In rough season, many people join to drag the net ashore. It is almost impossible to cross the waves in monsoon. Despite this, many of them dare the waves. Earlier, they used to go to the pier in the village of Valyathura. It is a few kilometers from the village of Thuthoor. The pier has given them a place to launch their catamarans. Surprisingly, none of the youth can dare the waves of monsoon. They are not used to catamarans. These children are in communion with the mirth and joy of nature. All this comes naturally to them. But modern youth are different. The old men of the village complain that the new generation is not good at swimming and that they lack physical stamina. The village of Thuthoor has many schools and a college. The level of education is very high in the village. The educational institutions have produced many brilliant students. Josman is a graduate in commerce and has a diploma in computer sciences, but he preferred a seafaring life.
ഫസ്റ്റിലെ പോയി കുറച്ച് ചർപ്പിലൊക്കെ ഇരുന്നത് പിന്നെ അപ്പുറം അത് കഷ്ടമാകത്തില്ല ഇടയ്ക്ക് ഇവിടെ നിറയെ വരുമാനം നല്ല പൈസ അടങ്ങി ഇവിടെയെല്ലാം கொஞ்சம் കഷ്ടമെല്ലാം ഉണ്ട് ഇപ്പോൾ 1.5 മാസമെല്ലാം കിടന്നാലും ചില ടൈമിൽ കിട്ടാവുന്ന ആൾ ഇടയ്ക്കാവുന്ന ആളും ഉണ്ട് പിന്നെ പുറത്തുള്ള കരവേലയുടെ കടലത്തുള്ള നല്ലതാണെന്നാണ് ഞാൻ നിனைக்கிறேன்.
Deep sea fishing is one of the most dangerous occupations. Mortality rates in fishing far exceed those of any other occupation. The village loses many lives every year. Life for them is an intense struggle with elemental forces and a hostile social system. The village of Thuthoor has sent its young men to almost all the harbours on our coasts. There are about 5,000 men from Thuthoor in Cochin. While the locals go in for the tamer waters, The people from Thuthoor venture into the deep sea. The catch is never bad. When the season turns bitter in Cochin, they move further. Some of them set out for harbours as far afield as the Indo-Pak border. Mumbai is one of their major destinations. It is a very long journey. Nature sometimes turns violent. They don't have any safety system. They are unaware of weather forecasts. Their boats are often stranded because of damaged engines. Hooks and lines may get entangled in the rocks. They have nothing to depend on but their will and faith. The village of Thuthoor is a predominantly Christian area. All the fishermen from Thuthoor belong to the Thiruvananthapuram diocese of the Latin Catholic Church. Francis Xavier converted the lower caste Hindus to Christianity in the second half of the 17th century. Their faiths and worships still have many elements from Hindu rituals. They are wild in their passions and rituals. They sing his praises and the pain he endured on the cross. On the eve of Good Friday, they decorate the coffin and an effigy of Christ, which they carry in a procession. He was a son of God. He rose from his grave on the third day. But they, a mortal men, dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. The fisherfolk of Thuthoor bury their dead. It turns dust, but the dust of the dear ones is dear to them. They go to the graveyard every day and feel the earth of their dear ones. They believe that their souls are not lost forever.
இப்போ ஆத்மாவுக்கு வந்து இப்போ ஜபம் செய்ய முடியுமா முடியாது. இப்போ நாம் என்ன செய்யணும்? நம்ம வாழாத அந்த ஆத்மாக்களுக்கு வேண்டி ஜபம் செய்யணும். இதை ஆண்டவர் கேட்குவார். அதாவது அவங்க வந்து செய்ய முடியுமா? முடியாது. இப்போ நாம் ஜபிக்கணும், அவங்களுக்கு வேண்டி பிரார்த்திக்கணும்.
However, many of their dead cannot go back to dust because they never come back from the sea. There are many families still waiting for their dear ones. They cannot believe that they were lost at sea.
വെള്ളം പോയി വലയും പോയി ആളുമില്ല. ഇപ്പോൾ നിന്നാൽ വേറെ കാണില്ല.
The omnipresent God warns them of a perennial evil. It can manifest itself in any form: a shipwreck, wind and tempests, machine problems, or dangers from bigger ships. To ward off the evil, they perform ritualistic offerings to the god. The priest of the local church performs the rituals. Life at the village is steeped in faith. The prayers begin much before sunrise. There are many prayers and offerings every day. The overpowering presence of the omnipresent Mother Goddess dominates their life. The Mother Goddess is worshipped in many forms. The legacy of the Harappan civilization is still prevalent in the states of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Saint Lucia, the patron saint of one of the churches in the village, is believed to be the sister of Kannamma, the Hindu Mother Goddess. The sea is called Kadalamma, the Sea Mother. The nearby Hindu temples worship Mother Goddess. When the season turns lean, they leave Kochi for faraway places. On their way to the fishing points, they pass many ports and harbours. On the third day, they reach the port of Mangalore. If they need to buy groceries or repair a boat, it can be a stopover. But not every time. The journey is tedious and long, and they cannot rest till they get a good catch. After many days at sea, they identify a spot where they will have a good catch of shark. The preparations for the catch have begun. Operations are done manually using traditional gear. It is all skill and traditional knowledge. Their hooks and lines are spread over miles. They lay down the hooks late in the evening and then wait for daybreak. The catch is always unpredictable. They often compare fishing with gambling. Here the stakes are very high. They gamble their life, energy and money. The dice may fall in the shadows of ominous gods, but the thrill never leaves them. The thrill of running a risky life. Like gambling, it is also for money. They spend about 1 to 2 lakh rupees for every trip to catch sharks. The fishermen from Thuthoor catch 90% of the sharks in India. Some of the boats have facilities to store the catch. The rest have to cut and dry it on the boat. Everyone whom they meet in the deep sea is from nowhere else but Thuthoor. So every fishing boat in the deep sea becomes part of a fraternity. When the deep sea is an unfamiliar neighborhood for the rest of the world, for them it is a village away from Thuthoor. They share news and miseries, gossip and market rates. The deep sea is their true home. Their food and their money is right here. Here is their life and pleasures. Much of their life is spent here. After 20 to 45 days, they return to the land. But in many places, their crafts are not allowed into the harbor. They are outsiders. They have to land in remote places. They have to anchor away from the shore and unload their catch into a catamaran. In Mumbai, their landing center is mainly at the coast of Alibag. They have to take on ice, water and diesel for their next journey. They are not allowed to buy these from the harbor, nor are they allowed to load them at the harbor. Some of the Thuthoor fishermen sell their catch in the market of Mumbai. But as soon as they unload the catch, they have to leave the main harbor. They go to any of the abandoned harbors. They live in a boat. They cook, eat, bathe, sleep, and dream in their boat. The city is close by, but the life in the city is far away.
இங்கேன்னு தொள்ளுவ 22-24 நாள் வரை அங்கே கடலில் கிடந்து தங்குவோம். அங்கே சில சமயம் கஸ்டமர்ஸ் வரை பிடிச்சு சில சமயங்களை அடிக்கவும் உண்டு. என்ன சில சமயம் அந்த பேப்பரெல்லாம் சரியாக இருந்தாலும் சின்ன வித்தியாசம் இருந்தாலும் எங்களை அடிக்கிறதையும் பிடிக்கிறதையும் எல்லாம் உண்டு. அப்போ பாக்கியுள்ளது இங்கே கரையில் வரும்போது இன்னும் இந்த இடையிலே அந்த கோயாய்க்கும் കുറച്ച് கரை வந்த உடனே எங்களை வேறு போலீஸ் போட்டு பிடிக்கானும். போலீஸ் போட்டு பிடிச்சும் எங்களை கையுத்தரவும் செய்தானும். எங்களுக்கு இந்த ஏரியா என்ன ஏதனால் உண்டுள்ள தெரியாது. நாங்கள் மீன் பிடிக்கணும் உண்டுள்ள வருதாக்கும். அல்ல கள்ளக்கடத்துக்கோ கொலைக்கோ ஒன்றும் வாரதில்லை.
The deserted ports are their refuge. To launch the boat, they have to depend on the tides. They have to wait till night. The city dwellers are going home after a day of hectic work, merrymaking and revelry. The boats for pleasure trips are empty now, and the cheerleaders of the city have gone home. The fishermen are also on their way home. The sea, their permanent abode. There are cheerful times when every one of them is at home. It is season for fun and frolics. Christmas. At Christmas, everyone from the village comes back home. The festivities last for a few days. The days are marked with intense revelry and mirth. They are the masters of the ceremony on the beaches and water. The priests and the men of the church join them in their revelries. Everyone goes to the sea. Children, women, and old people. With the progress of the world, their life relies more on the sea than on the land. Their sweet homes are farther away from them. And now they're getting ready for the long sails again. They have celebrated the birth of their God. The God who walked on water. He performed miracles. They believe that a miracle is always possible. They pray for it. But the miracle they think of is not fame or glory, but a good catch. A catch of better weight and long fins.